Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to another wonderful tasting of the Virtual Tasting Society. I am Vadim Perlowski, and today we're excited to welcome a new for us tequila brand, one that comes highly recommended, one that I recently had the pleasure of discovering, and I'm excited to say Roman was very quick to connect and agreed to feature this brand with the Virtual Tasting Society. We're excited to taste Amatitena, and we're also excited to welcome Alberto Partida, who is the master distiller, and he's going to be sharing all of his secrets. Maybe not, maybe. But thank you so much for being here. We have an extensive lineup. We have 7 expressions to taste through. We're all super excited. I know we mostly drink whiskey, but tequila is such a beautiful product that a lot of us are excited to discover brands that we can really stock our bar with and really support. So thank you for being here, Roman. Thank you for making this a possibility for us. So please now introduce yourself, and then we'll have that on the recording. And yeah, tell us about the brand and tell us about yourself.
Okay, so first of all, yeah, thanks for having us. I'm Roman Ramaya. I'm the importer of Amatitena. Like I was telling you guys earlier, my background stems from retail. So my family owns liquor stores. One of those is Old Town Tequila, which has been a popular website for all things agave. Originally got it started with just primarily tequila, but then over the course of the years, kind of branched out mezcal, bacanora, raicilla, all that good stuff. Now, even I think when people visit the store for the first time, they're really surprised to see just how much other spirits we have in general too, like rums and whiskeys. We even have, I know you guys said you taste a lot of whiskeys. We have Eagle Rare single barrels, from time to time. I think we have 2 right now, actually. But yeah, so about 4 years ago, Alberto Partida, who is the master distiller of Amatitena, approached me about, working with him together on this tequila. And he really wanted to create a tequila that honored his hometown of Amatitan. So if you guys aren't familiar with Amatitan, it is essentially the UNESCO certified birthplace of agave distillates in Mexico. And what they all agree on down there is it's the first place of recorded history of distilling agave, or as they called it back then, vino de mezcal. So Alberto is essentially taking all these techniques that were first recorded in his hometown and using them to make a matitena. So all the expressions tonight that you'll taste, they're all single fields from agave grown by Alberto himself. Um, Everything's cooked over a wood fire. It's tahona crushed. It's wild fermented in open wooden tanks, and then it's also to wood fire copper pot distilled, which is really unique and really hard to do. Alberto actually went to Cognac to study the techniques of doing wood fire distillation, since Cognac's kind of like the last one to really like use wood fire distillation. Um, and I know sometimes people think like, well, what's different from mezcal? Well, it's like mezcal does a lot of pit roasting. Mezcal does a lot of clay pot distillation, not copper pot distillation. And also too, mezcal doesn't use blue Weber agave generally from Jalisco. So this is all blue Weber agave from Jalisco. And all the agave tonight that you'll be drinking is all from the lowlands area of Jalisco, which, if you guys are familiar with the Tequila Valley, it's not really low by American standards. It's still very high, but then the highlands are like extremely high. So I believe Alberto Partida is here on the call, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, there he is. Now I hear his voice. There he is. So yeah, this guy right here, he is actually a 6th generation Agavero and a 5th generation master distiller. His parents founded Cabo de Oro Tequila, which is a very popular, been around for 30 years now. Is
25 had.
Yeah, been around for a really long time. And I mean, for centuries, they have been growing agave in Jalisco. And it's pretty cool. Like, even if you have never had one of his or his family's tequilas, you have most certainly drinking his agave, because pretty much every brand that you can think of has purchased agave from Alberto's family and fields at some point. So you've definitely had some Alberto Partida products before you've drinking tequila. So yeah, I'll let Alberto introduce himself a little further from there, and he could tell us what truly inspired him to make a Matitena. And if you guys, by the way, want to start pouring yourself the Blanco to try, Now's a good time to pour the Blanco. Um, you could officially drink tequila. The real way to drink tequila is in a flute, but I'm one of those ones who's like drink it however you like. But yeah, I'll let Alberto say some things from here.
Yeah, thank you, Roman. Thank you, everyone. Happy to stay here with you tonight. Yes, I'm Alberto Partida. I'm from Amatitán, Jalisco, which is in the valley of the Jalisco state. Uh, we're a family that started the NOM 1477. We are producing many brands for contact brands, even main brand of us is Cava de Oro. Roman mentioned that. But in this time, we are presenting to you our not new brand because we started that 4 years ago, or maybe 6 or 5. Roman, how many? About 5? No, I think
I
when we
mean, it was God, it was probably 6 years ago actually you approached me now
started.
that I'm thinking about it. But then COVID put a pause on things for a solid year and a half. But the
We
brand the brand didn't fully launch until like this is our fourth year of having the brand actually like in the market. So
in the
when I say
market
four, that's kind of what I'm talking about. Really, this has been discussed since like 2019, however long ago that was. 7 years
because
ago.
because when we start the brand, we want to share to the real taste of the tequila, the real uh, all the process together. I mean, using wood fire for cooking the agave, use wood bat for ferment in every season. Don't blend the batches and use copper pot still with wood fire also. So Amatiteña means women from Amatitan, and in this brand we want to share this this product of all the traditional methods at the same time. Uh, the main thing about the Amatiteña is that it's made by season. Probably if you have a bottle, you will see the season on the label. That means the season when was fermented or produced.
So
The
I
re-
believe you guys have summer, I believe. I think I sent you whatever the latest we had. You guys should all have a summer one from
yeah,
La Corinilla,
yeah.
which is, yeah.
Yes, every batch is made by different seasons. Normally, use the Barrancas, which is the release every year. We make it in spring because it's the time of the the fruit here in town. But yes, all the expression are made by season, and we don't blend the batch. We we keep the same batch for the same product, or maybe you will taste later one añejo or one reposado from the same season as a blanco. Is the main thing about Amatiteña. Make it by season and by uh, single agave field. All agave fields come from our family, and all the agave come from the lowland, which is the valley around the Tequila Volcano, Arenal, Amatitan, or Tequila. All those area is the valley, lowland.
And that is like the original spot where people like first started distilling tequila. Alberto told me one time like the whole valley actually used to be the town of Amatitán. It's the oldest town out of the three main towns. And then everything kind of branched out from there, even though at this point, Tequila is the biggest town by far in the Tequila Valley.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. And,
and no, go ahead.
I was going to say, and Cuervo really is the first distillery.
Actually, yeah,
So,
yeah. Yes, and this is a Matiteña. You will taste a lot of agave flavor. You will taste all the oil from the plant, the sweetness from the slow distillation in copper pot, And probably it's little strong because it's 42% alcohol. Normally we drink at 40. In Mexico we drink at 38. So your Blanco now is at 42% alcohol, and uh, it has all the complexity from the smokiness from the cooking process and the fermentation of summer, which is little hot, and the fermentation can be quicker than fall or winter.
A little side question, Alberto.
Yeah,
We have seven expressions in front of us. We posted the tasting order, what we guessed it would be in the chat, but is there an order you want us to taste in? We have the Blanco Origen, el Reposado, Añejo, and then we have the Castle and Key Añejo, and then Extra Añejo and Barrancas. I just kind of guessed. I went in ABV order, but is there an order you'd like us to line them up in?
uh, it's okay. I think it's fine. It's
Okay.
fine. It's okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Sounds good. We're excited. Yeah, so what I've read online is that this tequila has a little bit of smokiness to it, and you said it comes from the wood fire roasting process. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Because we don't use steam vapor, we use wood fire for cook the agave. That's the reason it has the smoky taste.
And the
But
agave is cooked directly over fire, or is it like a pit, a grill, or like what are we envisioning
uh,
in our heads? Is it a
can you
pot
explain?
and then
Can you explain Roman that about the oven, the steam
Yeah,
oven?
yeah. So it's essentially it is a conical stone and steel oven that is heated almost like look at it like kind of like a barbecue. Like it sits on a grill within the wood fire gets heated from directly below. So it's not resting on it. But it is essentially just like when you like close the barbecue and you kind of cook it from there. It's like that. That's the easiest way to describe it. And a difference is between that and mezcal is done primarily in a pit where it's directly on the flames. So this, while some flames do hit it, it's not technically directly on the flame. So that's kind of why it almost kind of makes that like mesquite smoke flavor more primarily almost in the aroma on your palate than the actual like forefront of it when you first taste it. It's almost kind of like an essence of smoke versus a true smoke flavor, if that makes sense. It's like it's you should taste some of that kind of like savory like almost bitter smoke oakiness to it. And also too, I personally think I mean, I know it picks up too, like in the fermentation process, because those fermentation tanks are kept downstairs by the stills, which are also heated by wood fire, and that room can become kind of smoky sometimes. Um, so I think that's where it kind of gets some of that flavor from is too, but primarily from the cooking. And I know Alberto made it in a that conical shape like that. Um, because when he was originally testing it out, like and he did it in the square oven, things would get burned too much on the top on the bottom and then not cooked on the top, then kind of perfect in the middle. But at least when it formed that conical shape, like that's what I mean by that. It cooked more evenly. I mean, I will say there's some that do get a little burnt on the bottom still, but like not really. But something else that's different about this cooking process is it could take anywhere from 48 to 72 hours to actually finish cooking, which most steams is done in like 24 hours. So this one is a little longer. Everything kind of about a Amatitena is a little longer. Like same with the distillation when it gets to that, that's essentially like three times as long. But it essentially it takes almost like essentially almost upwards like a month just to like make the Blanco. So it's not like a quick turnaround process. Sometimes it's faster if it's like ferments quicker. And Alberto can explain to you more about fermentation. That's always the one that I swear like always just kind of goes above my head. Like whenever I'm doing like work and Alberto's not there and someone starts asking me like those random questions about Brix levels and blah, 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 and what temperature, I'm just like, Jesus Christ, like I'll text Alberto. I don't know. That's his job. When we got together, he was like, I do the marketing and business side of things, and Alberto makes good tequila. That's his job. So,
The main thing about the cooking process is that the fire don't touch the agave. So normally in other kind of oven like heat roast or this oven that the people use to make mezcal, the wood fire and the fire touch all the time the agave. And that has a mix of the smokiness from the agave and from the wood. That's the main difference about Amatitena in his process of cooking. The wood fire doesn't touch directly the agave and that make a smoother smoky taste. Not too much, not too much flavor of the smoking.
I'm gonna see if I could upload a picture to the chat of the oven so you guys can see exactly what it looks like. Um, yeah, but if not, I know if you go to the website, there are pictures of all these things on the website. But let me see if it's gonna let me, if my technology is gonna work
I got
today.
it. I was working
Oh,
on
you
that
got it?
just as you were as well. I got it from the website.
Okay. Okay, see, so if you see on like the chat down there, or on the chat picture, you see at the very bottom almost there's kind of like that grill. That's what it sits on. And if this video, let me see if I could add this to the chat. Here, this video I think should gives you kind of a picture of everything too. If you guys can open that video, that will kind of show you um, the oven and where the heating source comes from in the back. And that is all, by the way. Also, too, wood that is collected from around their various fields that they have. It's a combo of it's primarily mesquite, but then there's other hardwoods in there as well. And it is like a true live fire, so it's not like they turn propane on and just throw wood on. Someone is there like stoking the fire, kind of like a campfire. So it's pretty cool in that regard. Like essentially, it has to be monitored and made sure the fire is maintaining an accurate temperature for cooking it. But those are the ovens. And then I see you also posted a picture of the tahona, which this is kind of a cool tahona because if you see what it kind of sits on in the middle right there, that's actually a lawnmower engine that his Alberto and his dad jerry rigged to the tahona to make an automated tahona. So it's actually like one of the first of its kind like that. So, we always kind of joke around that it's a vegan Tahona tequila because no animals are involved, human or four-legged creatures like horses and mules.
I was gonna
So,
say, without a donkey, you guys are high tech for tequila.
uh, yeah, so this is like the one truly like high-tech thing. Yeah. But it's pretty cool. But it's like, and I mean, it is a thing here in California, where vegans are well aware of Tahonas and they generally do not want a Tahona tequila. So it's, this one passes the test, and, and then I'll just quickly say, like, in case anyone's not familiar with Tahonas, Tahonas are a large stone wheel that gently crush the agave, so you're only getting the sweet and best juices from the fibers. Um, and so that creates a naturally sweeter distillate. So you're not getting kind of like the stressed out pieces. The way I always kind of describe that is like if you are like, for instance, juicing an orange and you do it by your hand, you're just going to get the juiciest parts. A roller mill would like be putting it through like a manual juicer. And then a diffuser essentially is like putting it in an electric juicer, like, where you just stick the whole thing in and it comes out like hay on the other side and squeezes every last drop out. Um, you need all three kinds. I'm not saying like Tahona is like the ultimate best, but I mean, as most people know, it is. That's why you see so many of the brands out these days. But I mean, the truth is you do need to have roller mill brands and diffuser brands because I mean, it keeps tequila accessible across all price points. And it is something that, as much as, you might not want to hear that being, more sippers than drinkers, there are a lot of people who just want to get drunk off of a margarita and don't care what it tastes like. And if we only had roller mill and Tahona tequilas, those margaritas would be like $25 even at cheap places. So, we need diffuser brands. So,
For sure.
yeah.
Uh,
But yeah,
Alberto, you mentioned that and we noticed that everything is at no less than 42%, which is very impressive. Again, like you said, most tequila is at 40%, right? That's what the standard, the industry standard in America. In Mexico, it's lower. Are you, what is it coming off of the still at? Are you distilling to 42 and like cutting it at heads and tails? And what's the process for that? Or are you, like what we would call in whiskey, getting cast strength and then bringing it down with water?
That's the way. With the still between 80 proof, 80 proof, the head, and we could add about 50% alcohol, and then that mix is around 62% alcohol. Then we add water to go to 42 or 49 or 55. It depends on the expression. For
Okay.
Reposado, Blanco, and Añejo is 42% alcohol. Origen is 49, and Barrancas 55.
And what are your cut points? You said you're at 80% at the like the when the tails are finished or the
Yeah,
heads are finished, it's 80% and then down to what?
45 or 50.
Oh wow. That's a big cut.
Normally, all the industry cuts about 35 less.
Well, okay, so you're going less into the tails. What is
Yeah,
that giving you?
uh, not the best expression. You get more volume, but the quality of the oils and the distillate is not the best.
Okay. Yeah, you can really tell you can really taste the cleanliness, how clean the
Yeah,
spirit is.
because if you cook less and less and less, you get more water on more and more volume from the copper pot. It's more at the end, more volume and less alcohol, but it's it's the it's a cheaper way to make this.
Makes sense. And you mentioned that you grow all your own agave. What's the general like average age of the agave you're using? I know that from what I've heard in the industry, the age of the agave has gone down because of so much consumption.
Yeah, yeah. When you have your inventory, when you have the cycle of each plantation, uh, you can wait until 6 years old in the field. So we start the harvest between 5 years old to 6 years old, and we can harvest all the year, every day, because
so
we have to replant the same field, we have to add compost, we have to uh, take care about the land. So it's the same field, so we need to make a plan every cycle of the agave.
Are you participating in the BAT project? Is that still a thing?
We have some certification of non-deforestation and of compost and about the erosion of the rain. But yes, we take care a lot of the land because it is the main thing about the business. Remember, there are some times when the agave is so expensive or so cheap, and that's the problem when you don't have a good cycle of the agave or the harvest of the plantation.
So what Alberto's referring to is this right here. I don't know if you guys can see that.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah, this thing. Right now, only Amatitena and Tequila Ocho have this certification. Um, so you'll see these on both of the bottles, both those brands' bottles. That's what he's talking about. But all of Alberto's family fields are bat friendly. They don't cut down the quixote, just because it's I don't know. You gotta understand sometimes they just don't feel like working with everybody. They're just like, whatever, we've always done that. Who cares? For the certification, but they are all bat friendly. But what I was going to tell you guys, how you can always tell how old the agave is that's used in a Montitania. And for all the releases so far, I think they've all been either 6 or 7 year old agave. I think there might have been one 5 year old one, but I know between 6 and 7. I think all the ones here are 6, but it will say what year it was harvested. Actually, it's easier to see on this
oh
bottle.
that's true.
It will say what year it's harvested or planted. Like this one's La Coronilla 2018. And then if you go to this is gonna be hard to see on the camera. If you go to the thing, this one was on the neck. It's harvested Hema in 2024. So this was 6 year old agave that was used in La Coronilla.
That's the main thing about put all the information on the label, put the name of the field, the year when was planted, and the year when was harvest. Just to know and understand all those things like season, agave region, age of the agave, and stay clear about the information on the taste of the
And
tequila.
also too, Alberto updated the label last for these editions. These all are the 8 different fields that he has used for Montetania so far. They're not all next door to each other in real life, and it's really hard to see, but on those little lines, like, that little line right there, that's the coordinate where that field is. So it's like you could technically look up the coordinations on the thing, but it really shows you everything. And then on the back is embossed with all the processes. So yeah.
Yeah, I
I
noticed.
have a I have a question.
Yeah.
That certification that you said, what is that called? The bat friendly certification?
ARA, ARA certification.
That
A R A R A?
that's not
Yeah,
that, but that's not David Serro's bat thing. That is
No, no. Yeah.
the one
Yeah, I
we're
hear
talking
you.
about, yeah, is the agave responsible ambiental, ARA, ARA. Um, yeah.
it's
Okay.
a agave responsibility environment.
I don't I wonder if I could here, I'll try to upload the QR code. I'll get the QR code and upload it for you guys so you can check out the website, but it's actually done by the CRT.
I'd never heard of it before.
Yeah,
That,
it's brand new, but Alberto can tell a little more about it. I know,
I
but
think it's from no more than 2 years ago, I think.
yeah, the only other brand that has it so far besides Amatitena is Ocho. And you're starting to see it on their Reposado bottles and new Blanco bottles. You'll see the same sticker on their bottles now.
And to get that certification, you have to share all the documents, all the information, all the balance about the production to get the sticker. I mean, when we are harvest La Coronilla or any field, we have all the information about the kilograms that was harvest. We share with the government. We share the balance of the process,
Mhm.
and at the end, they give us just the exact amount of stickers for the production, no more. That
Thank
helps
you.
too for not mass production. I mean something like that.
Mhm. Thank
It's a
you.
traceability. Sorry for my English.
Mhm.
traceability. Yeah.
So this is so good and so easy to drink that I'm afraid I'm going to finish the Blanco before I get to the Blanco Origen, and I want to do them side by side. Can you talk about the what the difference is and
Probably it's the season and the proof, but normally, uh, do you know which season is that origin?
I,
You should have received autumn.
okay.
Yeah. So you guys have La Cornea, but it was fermented in autumn and fall. So same field as the Blanco actually. Which generally they've in the past. I think this is the first time they've been in the same field. I was gonna say they're two completely different productions. One is the still strength, and the other is the regular. So yeah, Blanco Origin is just a fancy way of saying high proof still strength.
La, la
Yeah.
coronilla es the blanco is what you say, remember?
What? Still
The
strength.
blanco, no, the blanco,
Mhm.
which season?
Summer. Blanco is summer and
Oh,
Blanco Origen is spring is what we have.
okay.
Oh, you have
Prob-
spring Blanco Origin. So on your Blanco Origin, it's probably Las Trapitas then.
It is Las
but
Pepitas, yep.
Yeah, so you have
if,
Las Trapitas. Okay.
if the blanco origin was from autumn, probably the profile test will be more creamy or less alcoholic.
Wow.
And the summer production can be little more alcoholic and little floral because the fermentation is very fast when it's hot.
So one of the
But
things I like a lot about this Blanco Origin is one of the classic flavors of agave, like a true flavor of it, is marshmallow. Um, and I think this high proof one, it really highlights that marshmallow flavor. I know it's one of those things that sometimes people don't associate agave with marshmallow, but it really is like if you taste like old school tequilas that are higher in proof, that really is one of the like most prominent flavors you can get. And so this one almost kind of has, because of the cooking process again, it almost kind of has like a burnt marshmallow flavor profile to me. That I think it's really cool that that's highlighted.
I'm
And
really liking this one.
yeah, Las Trapitas was a good field too. I really liked Las Trapitas. Las Trapitas is located in Tequila Town.
Okay.
Yeah. So the other one that you had, La Cornea, is in Amatitena. Actually, La Cornea, if you guys ever come down to Tequila, Alberto built a field bar in the middle of the La Cornea field called the Amatitena Garden, and it is one of like the coolest like bars you'll ever go to. And it's amazing. It's beautiful. Like you sit there right, in the shadows of the like volcano, in the middle of this agave field. He has like art installations thrown around the bar. They have really good tacos. Uh, excuse me. Also, too, like he has made every single like modifier for the cocktails. So, like every single like liqueur and mixer and eau de vie, that would generally go into a cocktail Alberto actually made himself. So it's pretty cool. And actually, we'll be coming out with all of those. They've been so popular at the bar. We're coming out with those eau de vies and liqueurs and mixers, pretty soon. There's just that stuff has to be government approved in case you guys are interested in that whole process. You don't want to know. It's fun government stuff, but yeah, that's coming out soon, but I highly recommend you guys go visit that. It truly is like a really unique experience, and you can always just email one of us, and we can help set you up to come visit. It's definitely a must do if you head down there.
Where is it?
Okay, do you know when you are headed from Arnall to Amatitan, like right before you go down the hill, like
Okay.
where the road twists, there's that OXO station to the left. There's the big Maya Well statue lady, in the middle of the road, or not the middle of the road, to the side of the road. It's right there. I was gonna say like that's where the turnoff to is. It essentially kind of sits above the town of Amatitan. Um,
And
but
what's it called?
Amatitena Garden.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Amatitena Garden. Yeah. So it's definitely something you should do. And I mean, it's not very many bars have everything handmade by the guy who, like distilled everything. So, and actually too, like
Mhm.
that's something that like is pretty unique to Mauritania as well, is there's not very many brands out there where the actual you know, grower is also distilling it, who also it's his family distillery. Like that's not something that is very common in tequila production all the time. So,
Mhm.
yeah, there is. I mean, we're not the only brand. Like the famously, like Carlos Camarena, Felipe Camarena, Guillermo Erickson. Like they all own their own agave.
Mhm.
Fonseca, he owns all of his own agave in the distillery and grows it. But it's like they're a handful. It's honestly not a big audience that can do that. So.
Okay.
All right, have you guys are on the Blanco Origin, correct? For tasting?
Yep, we're on it. Yep.
Yeah, so the only thing I would say before you do the repo, just like, take a quick sip of water or something, just to kind of like get the proof cleared out of your mouth, because you're going to go back down to 42. You're going to go from 98% to 84%. So agave always is like heavily influenced by like alcohol percentage. So it's like it will kind of like mask some of the flavor of the repo. And the repo that you guys should have is mine's all faded on here, but it should be the
Las Tripitas Summer is the repo we have.
philosophy this summer. Does it have this label with the fields?
That's a very good question. Yes, it does.
Okay, perfect. So this one was done in a French limousine peapon cask.
Ooh.
Yeah. So this one is really good. Alberto, do you want to tell them what the peapon casks is special about?
Yeah, it's about for the aging process, the most important thing is the size of the container. When it's a barrel of 225 liters or 200 liters, all the spirit has more contact with the wood, and the flavor can be uh, faster inside from the wood to the spirit. Here, for a reposado, we want to keep the aromas of the agave, the sweetness from the distillation, the oil from the distillation as well. So we decided to use a pipon cask, which is a container of limousine oak too, but of 2,500 liters. At this point, we can rest or for about 6 to 8 months for make a unique reposado with all the aromas and all the flavors from the agave and not too much barrel. Because if you make a reposado in a regular barrel of that capacity 200 to 225, 8 months later will be kind of añejo. That's the main thing to use a pipon cask for reposado and don't use uh, regular barrel.
What he means by that is it will have a lot more of like a woody oak flavor to it, versus still being more agave forward.
Yeah,
But interestingly,
exactly.
though, I was going to say like if you do use a peapon cask and even if you do age it for like 3 or 4 years in peapon, it still has to be called a reposado, according to CRT rules. And in case anyone doesn't know what the CRT is, I feel like I've referenced it a handful of times now. It is the Regulatory Board of Tequila. Tequila is denominated just like bourbons and champagnes are, where they have to be made to a certain set of standards and rules. Some of the rules are controversial, of course. That's where this whole additive-free thing comes in play. Amatitena, by the way, is certified additive-free by a tequila matchmaker or whatever he's called now, agave matchmaker. Um, so, but The CRT doesn't let anything outside of a standard barrel size be called anything but a reposado.
So even if they were to age this for over a year, it cannot be called anything but a reposado because of the pipon.
Yeah, the maximum capacity for Añejo is no more than 500 liters.
So
Yeah.
the most famous brand that does that is Tequileno
Yeah,
with the Reposado Rare.
that's what learned it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's essentially like as big as a ruby port, essentially, container, right? I think those are in the thousands of liters.
Well,
Uh,
good to know.
Normally they use in the wine industry, and the name is food,
What is the name?
food,
Okay.
food, and in French, food.
Sauterne.
No, Sauternes is the wine, no?
That's what you said, yeah?
The wine industry,
Yeah.
the container.
This one in the wood is French limousine wood, and it's really hard. Like it's one of those things. It's hard to explain, like unless you feel it. Then you realize, oh, that's what they mean by it's really hard. It's harder than American oak. It's like one of those things that it's kind of like I don't know. I feel like the easiest one to always tell is like how pine wood is so soft. If you feel the American wood against the French limousine oak, you'll see what I'm talking about. It's hard. But for me, I think the French limousine gives a really nice spiciness to it, almost like a holiday type vibe kick to it, which I really like. Um, just because it's like I I just naturally gravitate towards that flavor profile. So I really like that repo. It's different while still being agave forward.
And you said so. How long did you say this was aged in the very large casks?
This one was oh, go on.
6 to 8,
6 to 8 months?
6 to 8, yeah.
Wow. Okay. Because you could have done 6 weeks and already called it a repo, right?
Uh,
Yes.
8, 2 months,
2 months is the
It means
minimum for.
60 days.
Okay.
yeah.
So are all your repos that you've made aged in the pipon?
The first one in the beginning, no. The first one in the
Okay.
beginning was from the bourbon barrel and was just for 2 months.
Because I do ratings on tequila on Agave Matchmaker, and some of these taste different than the original ones I tried. But now I'm understanding more about your brand.
Yeah,
It's different each time. It's maybe a different field of agave. It's harvested obviously at a different time of the year.
different season.
So they're unique.
Yeah, and never you will see another bottle exactly the same.
Okay. But you can't necessarily they're not separated on Agave Matchmaker. So when you go to rate the Reposado, it just says Reposado. The only one that has separate ratings is the Blanco. It allows 3 lots. So just that's not something I know that you probably aren't involved in, but people could rate them individually if the information was provided to Grover.
Because I think
Honestly, Christine, I just told Grover, don't worry about it.
Oh, are you the one that provides it to him? Because I like to do the ratings and I like to separate these. I
I
just
mean, I
keep my
can if you
notes.
guys really want. I mean, it's like, like I'm disclosure, I'm really good buddies with Grover. And sometimes I'm just like, fuck it, Grover, like
Yeah. Well, and
so,
but I didn't realize. So like when I rate the ocho, every single expression has a different rating. So but if you look at like for example a rating for this for Reposado for Amatitena Reposado, they could vary based on which bottle you're trying.
you
But
know,
in the
you,
end,
you know what it was too? It was like when we tried it with the Blanco, like everyone was like rating the wrong ones. Like that's
oh,
too. Like they were just sitting here and like they'd call like lot one, lot two, lot two, lot three, vice
yeah.
versa. And it was just like, it's that sort of thing. Like Because like it with Ocho categorizes everything solidly by field. You know what I
Yep.
mean? It's just like
Hmm.
doing
Yep.
the real Amatitena sort of like classification really is going to come more in the season that it's fermented. That's why that's like heavily, excuse me, highlighted. Just
Hmm.
because it's like
I like how you do that. I've never heard another
yeah.
brand do that.
Well, I mean, the thing about it is like when you break down the actual agave and like look at like the chemistry of it, it's very similar to grapes in the sense of like it's very weak, and it like picks up on a lot of terroir and seasonality.
Hmm.
Says,
Yep.
this is why you can have like one fruit made all over the world and have like wildly different flavors,
Yep.
Like this is essentially the same thing with like tequila. Think about it, it's one plant, made all across, the basically Jalisco. We know there's a handful of other like historical spots, but it's like, but we're
Hmm.
talking about like not a big area in general,
No.
where it's just kind of like, but there is a wildly different flavor profile. And we can even exclude ones that do like additives and all that stuff, just talking about ones that everything's 100% traditional. So it's when that's something that like I really appreciated that Alberto wanted to bring to this project was kind of highlighting it similar to wine, even though
Hmm.
I know wine in most regions have one, harvesting season, one
Yep.
fermentation season. Like that is a difference. But it's just like it still is the same thing too, where it's like this is being treated like every batch is different. So I mean, it's always fun because I mean, there's some batches I like better than others,
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
and that's to be expected, that's part of the fun of the journey, with drinking, a tequila like a Matitena. Like it's expected, it's not going to be the same thing. And I've seen, when I've looked on places like Reddit before, like I see people like talk all over the place about it sometimes. And I think it's fun more than anything. Yes,
Yeah.
you want to like, reach out and just like, I want to make some like snide comment, but I mean, you got to hold yourself back on that one. It's there's nothing tackier than, like a brand talking shit about another brand,
Oh, yeah. I
It's
mean,
just like,
well, I appreciate this because I didn't know this. And so now I know if I like one, like I really, really, really liked the 49 ABV, the Origin, the Blanco Origin. I thought it had a lot less smoke than the regular Blanco, and I haven't tried the Repo yet. But now I know, like if I try, because I have some bottles in there, so I have to really look at them and see what it says,
yeah,
right?
exactly. So
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, like it's everyone's different, and that's what keeps it fun and exciting, it's like the new Blanco coming soon. The San Carlos is like I think the most different one so far,
Hmm.
That one's really interesting. So,
And you carry them at Old Town?
not that one yet.
Not yet, but you will.
Oh yeah, we have everything, but I mean, Amatuteng is available now, or soon to be like almost 20 states. So,
Yeah.
I don't know where. Like, we're gonna be in. I mean, if Washington Liquor Commission like eases up
Yeah.
a bit, like we already have a distributor up there,
Are you using Winebow?
no, not in Washington. It's gonna be Pacific Edge.
Oh, I
So it's
usually
like,
buy from California, so I try to buy from your dad's store.
oh yeah, well, it's still cheaper than what the state tax
Hmm.
in Washington.
Yep.
But yeah, everything's available at oldtowntequila.com. But
Okay.
if you can, if I don't know where it's, if you're in Texas, we're in a lot of specs in Texas. If you're in New York, we're in Astor. Um, I saw someone said Hawks. We're not in Atlanta, but although you might be talking about the Seahawks, I guess.
Well, oh,
Yeah.
sorry. Who was saying that?
I don't know. I just know someone said go Hawks,
I see a Patriots sign, so I'm wondering they're in Boston. I'm wondering where are you in Massachusetts?
we're in Boston. So we have a really tiny distributor in Boston, so it's not that many places, but
Oh
hope
yeah.
switching to a bigger distributor in the next few months in Boston. So, but I know
Okay.
you can get it at Deep Ellum if you're in Boston.
Oh.
Which is a really good Mexican restaurant. I would say it's more Tex-Mex, but it's really good food still. And then Condesa, you can
I
get
was
it
gonna ask if you were in Roberto's store, restaurant Condesa.
at Condesa. We're in Condesa
Okay.
in all of his locations,
He's
and
great.
we'll actually be probably seeing him in Rhode Island next week. Alberto and I have to fly out there on Sunday night. So
You do? Are you doing an event there?
No, we're doing market work, which
Okay,
I prefer market work to events because you actually get to sell shit, you know.
there you go. Well,
But
I feel like I'm taking up too much time. I'm sorry.
no worries.
I
Mission Liquor has them in LA as well. High Times has them in Orange County. K&L has them in LA and San Francisco area. San Francisco Tequila Shop. Yeah, I was gonna say we're in a lot of places actually. It's yeah, I would say or if we're not, ask your local bar, restaurant, and liquor store to pick it up, all that fun stuff.
Alberto, I get a lot of sweetness on this Reposado, a lot of like caramel and butterscotch. Is that coming from? That's obviously coming from the barrel, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Yes. All the flavors that you taste come from the aging process. All natural, all directed from the beef.
Was the wine that the barrel was not a new charred oak container when you got it, right? It had wine in it beforehand.
Exactly.
Is it a sweet wine? Is it a fortified wine?
Uh, Honestly, I can't remember because we import those barrels from different countries.
And are you emptying the barrel completely every run, or are you like t taking out a few thousand bottles and refilling it?
No, we have to steam with clean with the steam vapor inside before using.
So you empty it completely, clean it, and then reuse it. So at this point, I mean, how many times have you used it? Is it neutral wood at this point?
To remove all the flavors from the previous spirit or wine, because we use a steam vapor for clean inside.
So you're steaming the wood between every release.
No, every time when we buy or when we bring new barrels into the distillery.
Okay, okay, got it. So when you're buying new barrels, you're steaming them before filling them with tequila.
Exactly. Yeah,
But then I'm saying, like you said, this is a 2,500 liter gigantic vat. Are you emptying it every time?
yeah, yeah. We make a batch of reposados of about 2,500 liters or 5,000 liters. We
Wow.
have we have two people for make this Amatitena.
And Amatitena, by the way, is also available in Europe. It's available in Europe and obviously Mexico and soon to be Japan and Asia. So it's not just those 2,500 liters are not just for the United States. Um, yeah. So I was gonna say, is everybody ready for Anejo? Yeah, me too. Which one do you guys have? You guys should have winter. Or I guess Badham can correct me since he has a
Yes, we have winter. So we have two different añejos. Which one should we start with? I thought it took me a second to figure out the difference. One is a regular añejo and one is Castle and Key añejo.
Do the regular Anejo, the darker one.
do
Okay.
the darker one first.
Do the
Okay.
darker one
Huh.
first.
Okay.
Not what I would have assumed.
Me
So
too.
darker first, and it is a winter Las Tripitas.
The reason I say do this one first is this is the standard Anejo. So
Okay.
That's,
this
the
is
other one's a special, a single barrel.
the other one's a single barrel.
Okay.
Um, so, but I was gonna say this one is really cool. The reason the color is so dark is because he uses red wine barrels.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah.
local red wine barrels for like Mexican red wine or where?
No, the best California Napa Valley red wine barrels. I always tease Alberto, California wine's better than Mexican wine.
What about Washington wine? No, we don't have to go there.
No, we don't go there. I was gonna say
It's good though.
it's not bad. It's not bad, but I was gonna say it's like we all know, the best wine producing regions of the world are France and California.
Let's
But
not start a fight.
I like the pinots here.
I know there's a lot of things to rag on in California about it. I'm a proud multi-generational Californian. But our wine, we make good wine. I mean, but yeah, you can make fun of some of our stuff. I think everyone's very mad at our plastic bag policy now, but um,
I don't know about that.
well, we got rid of the convenient plastic bags. You can no longer shop with a plastic bag. And we even have a tip hotline reporting. So, oh, I see Save a Plastic Tree. Actually, when I was a kid, it was Save a Tree, use plastic, but I guess that's changed now. But I mean,
We're like the same thing up here.
yeah. But the irony is, it's like bread comes in a plastic bag. Your dry cleaning comes in a
Yeah.
plastic bag.
Yeah.
Vegetables come in a plastic bag. But oh, to take those home, you better use that paper bag. And pay 20 cents for it. Which, I mean, I do think people overuse bags. I've been full in agreement of this. I think there's a lot of people who ridiculously overuse the bags. And then,
That's why they do it.
yes.
I mean, I bring my own. So,
No, I mean, it's true. I mean, there's people, like I remember growing up when I worked in the liquor stores, there were people who would come in and be like, oh, they'd buy, I don't know what gum costs now, but like back then it was 5 cents. You get those like 5 cent packs that had like five pieces of gum in it. And they'd be like, oh, I need a plastic bag. And then I would get in trouble because I'd be like, no, just, snooty teenager, like not happening. And then they'd argue and be like, I'm going to tell your boss. And I'd be like, tell them. But,
oh my goodness.
or they'd want a bag for their bag of chips, and it was like, no. So, you know,
If
uh,
anybody needs bags, I got those like really nice plastic ones from like
oh yeah.
CVS. But I
Uh-huh.
know what I got, so don't lowball me. It's gonna take at least a Blanco Origen for it. I'll take 3 bags for a bottle of Blanco. I got you.
Exactly. Actually, my brother actually sold a lot of our liquor stores plastic bags on eBay. Those days didn't work. They sold right away.
Did we lose Alberto?
I don't know. Does he?
This Añejo is really good.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was gonna say Alberto. He lives in Amatitena, and their
It's
Wi-Fi
like, I
sometimes
don't know about bags.
is all over the place.
The Añejo
Uh,
is really, really, the smoke is prevalent on the nose for sure. At least
yeah,
for
I really
This
like.
is really good.
Yeah, this Anejo is really good. It has a really leathery, salty type, vibe to it, like borderline musky, that like I really
Mm,
enjoy. It's definitely the more savory side of agave. You
it's
know,
really good.
like
Must be those California Napa Valley
yeah,
barrels.
exactly. And it's all type of red wine, by the way. So there's not exclusive, but all the barrels are from Napa. So and I mean the color is just it's such a pretty like amber color that really like shines in the glass. I just love this anejo, and I'm really not an aged spirit drinker.
Neither.
So I was gonna say it's one of those things that was like I just really appreciate this one. And this one is like really good with um yeah, Alberto's uh something about his camera went down that he was using. But anywho, he'll join back in. The
Wow, so good.
Yeah, I was gonna say this one goes really good with food. Like this one, especially
Yeah,
with a lamb or like beef, like some of the fattier like cuts of red meat. This one does really well. It pairs really nicely with it. And by the way, all agave pairs nicely with food. It's something I highly recommend trying. Um, Blancos go really well with seafood, in my opinion. The Origin, I think, goes fantastic with like, especially like raw shellfish, like oysters and stuff. It's sushi. I was gonna say we've actually done really well with Amatitena and sushi restaurants.
really.
Yes, particularly the Blancos. Like, they have been like really picked up in like, especially like the high-end New York and San Francisco sushi restaurants. It is something it's done really well with. And reposados tend to do better with like the lighter meats, like pork and chicken. But then yeah, like this anejo goes really well with like lamb and beef. And then obviously like extra añejo goes great with dessert more primarily.
Hmm.
And then, but like I really like Barrancas, which is the last one that you'll try, with dessert. That one goes really well with like especially like cheeses and fruits. But yeah, it's
Oh
really
yeah, they gave us, I'm sorry, at the distillery, I just remembered that. They paired the tequilas with the food.
yeah.
I don't remember. I think we maybe had like three different tequilas, but most they don't do that a lot at distilleries.
No, they generally there they'll I think they give you at they'll give you like a cracker,
Crackers.
piece of dark chocolate,
Yep.
Keen's paste, and like the Mexican cheese. What is that called again? It's like a fresh
Cojita?
um not cojita, it's the other one. It's the one that's essentially like Mexican mozzarella. It's a soft cheese like that.
Burrata?
No, it's not burrata. I
I
forget
don't
what
know.
it
I
is.
lost. I don't know.
Yeah, it's they always have a name for it. But I don't know. Like it's one of those things, I could be bad about some of that stuff.
Well,
Oaxacan
you can't
cheese.
remember the. What is it?
Oaxacan cheese.
Well, it's the Oaxacan cheese essentially, but
Well,
I forget what it's called.
that was easy.
It's not cotija though. But it's good. That cheese is good, It's
Oh,
just
cheese is so good. So I have a question about the añejo. Did you tell us already and I missed it? What is it? Fall, spring, summer?
Oh, this one that you have is winter.
Oh,
This is
winter.
winter Las Trapitas.
Okay.
Yeah, this is winter Las Trapitas.
We should taste this
Thank
one
you.
side by side with the Castle and Key because they're both winter, they're both Las Trapitas, they're both 42%, but they're different barrels and they're very different colors. So
Mhm.
if you got an extra glass, so take
Yeah,
them side by side.
Is this blended versus the single barrel?
this one, well, no, none of the mocktails are essentially blended.
Uh,
I mean, they're blended barrels in the sense of,
that's what I mean, blended barrels.
yeah, like, but it's all like Las Trapitas from
Okay.
the thing. So I was going to say, like, in the barrels, I believe he just kind of like picks what he has at hand, for which red wine ones are available at that moment.
Oh, so the difference between the the regular añejo is it's a red wine
Yeah.
barrel versus this is an ex-bourbon barrel. That's essentially the big thing.
So yes,
Oh.
Castle and Key one is rye.
Oh, right, it's
Oh, I
right.
like rye.
And that's why I wanted you guys to try it second because the rye is a
Well,
very
the nose is
prominent
so different.
flavor. Yeah, it's very different. There is only two other brands that I know of who have done rye barrel aged tequila. One of them came out a few years ago, and the other is not out yet. So the one that came out years ago was Ocho. Um, and then I guess I just can't say what the other one is that's coming, but it's a good brand. Um, but it's yeah, so it's not a very common thing to use rye and agave aging. And the rye note is like very for me, the rye note is very present. I know this one has gotten like it's been fun hearing the opinions of this one. Um, I feel like it's almost kind of been like a cold versus hot climate thing. Like,
Hmm.
everyone in the cold climate tends to really love this Castle and Key Anejo one. But like in the warmer climates, like Southern California and Texas, it seems to like be not so popular. So it's been interesting, and this originally started as like a collaboration we were gonna do with Castle and Key, and then like our part finished, and then a lot of things have gotten, messed up in bourbon and whiskey world recently. So they had to put their version on pause for right now. I know they want to pick it up again then they wanted to pick it up again, this past um like holiday season, but at that point I had like been like, yeah, just refill the barrels, Alberto, and we'll sell some single barrels to some accounts. So it got pushed back another year on there. So we can blame me for that one again. But it's But it's like they'll eventually be coming out with their Amatitena rested rye, So it will all come full circle at some point. But yeah, this one's brand new. In fact, I think when you contacted me about doing this virtual tasting, it had like just come out in the week before. So it's like I couldn't remember whether I even included it in the packet or not. And when you said seven, I was like, I guess I did.
When I,
So,
when I first
Well,
saw
they
the box,
smell so different. Like
and
the
they're
nose is completely different.
they taste differently too.
I
Like,
haven't tasted this yet. So
no, I was gonna,
salute.
yeah, they taste completely different. And so that's kind of what like I was talking about how weak agave is and how influenced it can get by all these different processes. So it's just it really kind of highlights that. Like who loves this one is Lou.
Long Island Luke?
Long Island Lou, Long Island. He like
What's his last name? It's an Italian name. I can't think of it, but yeah.
remember
I'm getting some anise in this.
Lou and Greg. Yeah, I mean, I always get anise and Amatitania. I think that's always one of the flavors I pick up
But
at.
a stronger, more this is strong, a little bit more pronounced.
I mean, for me, in this one, the most pronounced note is rye. I taste rye whiskey in this one, like first and foremost.
Hmm.
Yeah. So,
I don't drink a lot of whiskey. And I just realized a few months ago, I don't remember what I was trying, but I was like, I really liked it, and they said it was rye, but I don't remember the brand.
Vadim does a lot of whiskey tastings,
who?
Where do you do them? Virtual?
yep.
virtual tasting society.
Right here on Zoom every Thursday.
Oh,
I,
really?
I expect
Oh,
a kickback from
oh,
that,
just a
Vadim.
few of those. Yeah, thanks, Michael. Just a few of those, right?
So
Here and there.
most of you all do the virtual whiskey tastings. Do you do sake and other things too?
We stick to spirits. We haven't done a sake yet. We've done a Japanese whiskey that is rice based.
Okay.
We have another one on the calendar. But yeah, we're about 320 virtual tastings in.
Wow.
I drink
Wow.
whatever Vadim feeds me.
That's very cool. I only know about it because of Roman and
Welcome to the
tequila.
group. You
Thank you.
you're in good hands. If you want to learn, this is the place.
Thank you so much.
Every
We've done
Thursday.
a number of tequila ones as well, a few mezcal ones.
Some in-person tequila ones.
Yeah, we were talking about
But
Ocho. We've done Ocho at least
Jay,
once.
Jay and Alicia, does your dog like participate all the time?
Oh, he's the
No,
one that
okay.
signs them up, and they just get to participate.
I saw the dog just standing there looking and looking like it's so cute.
Um,
Um, I was gonna say Alberto and I are actually big dog people. We're those.
I am a huge dog person, and you get that from your dad because I know how your dad is about his dogs.
Well, my dad got that from my mom.
Oh,
Uh,
really?
oh yeah, I mean it's like when I was a kid, I would say my dad wasn't the biggest dog guy.
Really?
And like most of our dogs when I was a kid were like my mom's dogs. Like they were like little Yorkies and poodles. Um but he starting with oh, probably it was Buddy when I was like a teenager. That was the dog that I remember. Yeah, but now it's like the past two dogs, his current one, Willie, like my
Willie? Oh,
God, I mean that dog, like he loves that dog, I think, more than like,
no,
more than anyone. Like, I mean, it's just
I know. But dogs are special.
like when he had his brief period of like when he had that injury thing and got the brief aphasia. He forgot everybody's names but Willie.
He
And
loved
yeah, so
Willie.
much. I just remember like the look on like my mom and my nephew's face, because that was like when they went around, like whose names and they started with me and he was like, I can't remember. Then he went to my sister and it's like, I can't remember.
Oh,
Then my brother can't remember. Then, my nephew can't remember. My mom can't remember. Then they showed a picture of my dog and his dog. And he's like, Jerry and Willie.
oh my goodness. That is so crazy. but now he remembers.
I mean, he learned our names like the next day again. He remembered,
Okay.
you know, but it was
That's
like
really interesting, isn't it?
it still cracked me up more than anything. Just it was like my sister and I were just we still have a field day about that one, just because it's like it's I mean, you know, it's funny now that everything turned out fine, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's but yeah, no, so my import company is actually named after my dog, and you know, Jerry comes everywhere, you know. He's I mean, he's snoring on the couch right now. You know, he's an old guy at this point now. He's 40.
Mine's over there too. I was watching her for a minute, but yeah. Yeah,
And,
she's
and then Alberto's got a whole a herd of dogs, you know, but his main one's this like
I met him. One of his dogs, I was going to ask him. He didn't get back on though, right?
I think
When we were at when we were at the distillery, he was all dressed up really nicely, and he was walking by, and they said, "Oh, that's Alberto," and he had a dog with him. And so I immediately go, "I like Alberto. He has a dog."
was it the border collie or the super fat beagle?
I just remember he had a dog. I don't think it was a fat beagle.
That was the border collie.
It must have been the border collie.
Alberto, what's your border collie's dog's name again? Why am I forgetting that dog's name? I see he's on here. Maybe his
I
microphone's
don't see him.
but I was gonna say like the dog the dog I always remember primarily of Alberto's is Pasquala, who much to his chagrin, everybody feeds all day long nonstop. So
The beagle.
yeah, she's Pasquala's.
Oh, but she's happy.
She's happy. She's very happy.
Yeah.
You kill me for laughing at it.
So what do you guys all think? Like, which one do you like of the añejos? Do you like
We did a poll. I have the results.
Oh, you did a poll?
I did. Did you not vote? You voted.
I didn't see it. So it's fine. I like the wine.
So does everyone.
I did
so does
vote.
the majority.
I lied. I did vote. I forgot.
You can't be trusted. You don't have a cat in your lap. You can't be trusted. Yeah. So
okay.
The classic añejo took it 2-1. The 2/3 of the people have preferred the classic añejo over the Castle Key. But it's fun to do the comparison.
Yeah,
it's fun. Yeah, I was gonna say it's fun.
Yeah,
they are completely different.
And you will find someone who will love. Obviously, 4 people love the Castle and Key one more. So you know there is a market for that.
Well, I'm curious to know.
I was very surprised to like the regular añejo since it's a wine barrel. It's usually not my thing at all, but the regular añejo was just there's something about it. It's really, really good.
Did you get the Hubba Bubba on it?
Did I get what?
The Hubba Bubba bubblegum?
I didn't get bubblegum. I got a lot of maple and brown sugar. I got a little bit of like a cotton candy-ish note. Probably, I mean, you could say bubblegum, cotton candy, kind of similar.
Yeah. Same category for sure.
But I was very surprised because you know me, Vadim, I don't really do a lot of finish stuff, wine finish and all that, but this was fantastic.
It must be because they use really good wine. It's not the crap your dad sends you.
Mm-hmm. It's California wine, I'm telling you.
I'm going to tell him you said that, Vadim. I'm going to tell him that you talked shit about his wine.
I've never tried his wine, so I don't know.
He doesn't
so hard not to bring your dad and wine into
it. Yeah, we should all go up there and do a virtual tasting in his wine cellar.
We should. For Roman and Christine, Michael introduced his dad to the group, and now his dad does more tastings with us than Michael does. And his dad is based in Oregon. And
well, he's retired. He's got a lot more free time.
Where in Oregon?
He lives in Carlton. It's in the Willamette Valley.
Okay, yeah.
So you can imagine he has a lot of.
All you guys talking about all this California wine. I'm like, but the best Pinot comes from the Willamette Valley, according to my father.
Did I not say that?
You said Washington.
Well, yeah, but it's the Willamette Valley.
Fair enough.
Sorry, I did say Washington, but Oregon has the Pinots.
For sure.
That they do. And he will talk your ear off if you let him. So let's all be happy he's not on here today.
All right.
We like him. We wish he had joined us. I'm on
He's on a
the.
cruise right now, so he's not hurting or anything. So
That's good. What are we doing next? The XA? Is that
Extra,
all we have?
extra añejo, por favor.
Extra anejo.
All right, so we
So
still have the,
this one, if you notice, by the way, and there's only one batch of extra anejo, so they're all spring El Noviero, which El Noviero was the very first field used in Amatitena. So if you ever come across a El Noviero
Oh.
bottle that's dusty in some liquor store, grab it because it doesn't exist anymore.
Oh, wow.
It won't be brown for another minimum 3 more years. I was going to say, if you notice the color is lighter on the extra anejo, that is because this is a blend of two different barrel types. It is the red wine and then ex-bourbon. Like Alberto told you about how some of the original reposados were done in ex-bourbon barrels. So that's some of the original barrels for that, are blended in with this extra anejo. I think going forward, Alberto can correct me if I'm wrong on this. I think next batch of extra anejo is all red wine barrel. So this might be a unique little unicorn one going through or
I
going.
noticed there's no like it says the season, but you don't have like a year, right? You don't do vintages.
No, no. So it's done by the season of fermentation, and then this one, the only like year that's going to be on here is when the agave was planted in 2016, and then this field was harvested in 2021. So this was 5-year-old agave that was used for this extra anejo. So
Aged for what, 3 years?
this one's actually a blend of the ex-bourbon barrels are 4 years and the ex-red wine barrels are 3 years.
Okay.
But by tequila standards, it would go by the lowest barrel aged used, which I think is for almost every spirit, in all honesty.
Everyone except rum, I think. Yeah.
And so this is what do you call it? A 3-year-old extra anejo.
And
And
it has to be a minimum of three to be an extra añejo, right?
yes.
Okay.
So minimum 3. So anything 3 plus is extra anejo, no matter how long you age it for. Anything a year to 1 to 3 years is anejo, and anything from 2 months to 1 year is reposado, and then anything below that is blanco. And I mean, you have these. I mean, there's a bunch of different little offshoots now. Like there's Rosa, and Hoven, and blah blah blah. It just goes on and on and on and on.
So Joven and Blanco are the same thing, or they're
No,
so
uh,
Joven is like a month old or whatever?
I know it's honestly, if I mean, but between this group, the Hoven thing, like I wish they just would have picked a different name for that one. Just because it's like in
like blend.
yeah, like because in Mezcal, Hoven is like a Blanco. So
It
I mean,
is,
yeah, it's I get it why people get confused.
meaning young.
So it's like Hoven's is a blend. So Hoven is a blend of anything. So it's like it could be a blend of let's say we blended all 7 of these expressions you're trying today. That's a Hoven.
Oh,
You know?
wow.
Yeah. So I was gonna say in tequila it's a little confusing. A lot of them like um uh uh a lot of them filter the color out. And those are like crystallinos as well. Like Joven and crystallinos have a lot of interchange. Um, Something I do think that's kind of funny that I often see on like common boards is like people think that like crystallinos are like for the American market, but really they're by far more popular in Mexico. They actually really like that lighter, sweeter flavor. So it's kind of funny in that regard. But yeah, I doubt. I mean, Amatitena is probably never going to come out with a Cristalino. I don't know, maybe a Hoven off
Please not.
day just for fun, like because I think Hovens can be fun. But yeah, like 1800 Cristalino is really popular in Mexico.
Really? Ugh.
Yeah, same with Maestro Dobel Cristalino. That one's like the class Cristalino.
Because they don't want to taste the tequila, they just want it to taste like
Well, okay. Also,
vodka.
Also too, like I mean, this is something that like people sometimes I complain about the tiered and controlled system in the United States with alcohol. Mexico doesn't have this stuff. So Cuervo and Diageo, like this is Alberto can complain about this for days. They have a dominant hold on the Mexican market. It is just one of those things, and it is very like pay to play. You know what I mean? It's just like it's hard to like break into the Mexican market. That's why you see by far better tequilas in the United States than Mexico. And it's something that's surprising, but like until you travel down there, you won't really see. That's when you kind of see that. I mean, obviously there is good places. Like there's a really good liquor store and bar and in between Rosarito and Ensenada, like here in Baja, about like an hour and a half, that like rivals like Old Town on its collection. But it's like the truth is there is more tequila brands and mezcal brands in California than anywhere else in the world.
Yep.
So I mean it's just because it is such an easier entry to market here in the United States for brands, and especially artisanal brands tend to be more appreciated up here. Uh,
Hmm.
and it's changing in Mexico, and there's a lot of prominent, bars and restaurants trying to like push this in Mexico more now, but still they really do tend to like sweeter flavors down there, lighter flavors, and gin is very popular in Mexico as well. Like it is a very popular. I mean, think about it. It's a climate that's a lot hotter than most places here in the United States, and these are like gin's very refreshing to drink. When you're, you know, hot. You know, it's like I grew up 20 minutes from Tijuana, so it's when we were in high school, you would always go spend the night at the friend's house, who's your parents didn't know. And then, we'd go to TJ and get drunk off of like gin and tonics and gin fizzes.
Hmm.
So, as long as you didn't throw up before you crossed the border, you were all good to go. It's just, I mean, this was all pre 9/11 stuff. It used to be very easy to
Yeah.
get back and forth between San Diego and Tijuana. I think that's always the hard thing to explain to some of the kids now. They're like, oh, but it's like, no, in fact, if you guys forgot, the hijackers came in through the Tijuana San Diego border just because it was so easy back then. It was just like, you didn't even need a passport. It was like,
Yeah.
whatever, they're like,
A
all
license.
they would
Yeah.
ask is go like, where are you going? And you'd be like, San Diego. And they'd be like, okay, like, hope you had fun. But yeah, you would get in trouble if you were throwing up. They would throw you in the drunk tank. So that's the one thing you had to not do is throw up crossing the border.
Well,
But yeah,
I
anyway,
have
I don't
a
know how we got
question.
on that topic, but yeah, push
I
and
have a
go ahead.
question about the agave. So in this particular expression, the extra añejo, I forget how many years it said the agave was grown. Do you guys test for a certain brix level, or how do you determine when you want to harvest the agave?
Let's see if Alberto, do you want to answer
I
that?
Yeah,
see them now. Yeah.
it depends of the year, the age. Normally, at 5, we are ready for harvest because it's a cycle for all our fields. But sometimes we can harvest even until 7 years old or 6 years old.
Yeah.
It's it's not because after the 6 years old, the brick levels go down because the agave plant starts to die, die.
Right. If you keep it too long.
Exactly.
But
Yeah.
also if you keep it not long enough. So there's this period that the window.
Yeah. I mean, after 5 years old, the agave is ready. It's ready to have.
And so it's 5 years old and you look and you see and you say, okay, these look ready, or do you actually test them
Yeah,
for the
yeah, yeah.
bricks?
Actually, we taste every year.
Okay.
Actually, today we received a sample of some fields of 4 years old, and the average of kilograms of each plant is about 17 kilograms. No,
Mm-hmm.
70 kilograms, sorry.
Mm-hmm. It's okay.
And 20 ART. It's different measure, but it's like a 28, 29 bricks.
Okay.
But it's 4 years old now. So let's see
Okay.
in the next 2 years what happened with this specific agave seed.
Okay.
We are,
Thank
we are
you.
tasting.
And by the way, like I know a lot of that like 7-year-old thing kind of comes from the Highlands. And that's a completely kind of different like climate and growing zone than the valley.
All
Um,
right.
so
Yeah.
it all kind of just depends. That's what I've always heard and learned back in the day was it's kind of depends on the region, It's because don't forget like they don't do any there's no like irrigation with this stuff. It's all just like natural, So some years when it rains more, it rains less, or it's sunnier, it's hotter, it can create a different growing period for the agaves.
Yeah.
But I know they like test them, so it's you know, they're not the partitas, in all honesty, they're not cutting corners. They don't need to. So
Yeah.
that's the
This
truth.
extra añejo is quite good. And I do get some of that, what you call the bubble gum.
Well, bubblegum is like a classic, flavor of agave. I mean, it just is, it's things like bubblegum, marshmallow, caramel, bananas, like these are all tend to be like in aged tequilas, like flavors that, get highlighted. It's same thing too with like berries, like I always get like raspberries, and some of the obviously sweetened raspberries. I'm not talking about the tart, pig off,
Yeah.
like but it's there is like some kind of overlap with flavors kind of in all distillates kind of like each have like flavors that kind of tend to get highlighted. What like I think then changes with stuff is more of like the nuanced flavors, and that's something that like I'm gonna use the term musky again. That's something that I find I feel like almost like that like cooking process creates this
Mm-hmm.
and what I mean by musky is not I'm referring to musky in a good sense, and like almost more of like a more savory animalistic side to it, where it's something that is more kind of almost like leathery, suede, comforting type vibe to it. That is kind of tones down the sweetness that you would get
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
agave, because agave has so much natural sugar in it that it's always going to have some of those like we said caramel and bubblegum notes to it. It's to be expected. And so
I
it,
noticed the bubble gum.
mm,
It's the way I used to describe like El Tesoro, the old El Tesoro from the 90s. And whenever I have a really old, like Fortaleza Lot 1, I went to a party last year where they brought a Fortaleza Lot 1, a
mm,
Shinako Lot 1, like the old ones from the 90s.
mm,
And every time I taste it, I get that, oh, but I didn't know how else to describe it, but it was like, it's like a bubblegum flavor, but in a good way. Cause you would think, oh, who wants to taste bubblegum in their drink? But when I get that profile, I
mm,
like it.
yeah. And I mean, yeah, it's something that, is good.
You
I
actually
Mhm.
get that a lot on really good rye whiskey as well. Get that bubblegum kind of cotton candy thing going on.
mm,
It's I don't get it in bourbon too much, but in some really good ryes like Frey Ranch single barrel proof ryes, they're like bubblegum crazy, most of them.
That's
It's really
probably why I liked it when I tried it,
mhm.
because I liked that profile.
And so and I mean, so that's the thing, like when you are like cutting corners and making a quick distillate, sometimes like those like type of flavors can tend to go away, and that's why they add the sweeteners back in. But also too, just to add on to that, there are some brands that still just add the sweetener to get a sweeter flavor profile. Like there's a lot of the brands that do add agave nectar and like vanilla extract. They are looking to highlight those flavors more because there are consumers who really like those flavors. Um, like I know, people like Christine hate it when I say stuff like, I mean, 1942 is really good. It is. It tastes like a holiday cake.
Well, it used to be good back in the 90s.
It's still good, trust me, but it's sweet, it is, it's like these are still a popular flavor profile. There's nothing wrong with it, It's like my thing is it's like it's a drink what you like. Uh,
Yeah.
but like speaking of additives, if you guys want to move on to Barrancas, I always like to, joke around with this one. Barrancas has additives to it. So Amatitena is not 100% additive free. And
And
so
this is the Blanco 55. Is this a still or is this a high proof?
this one's still straight.
Oh, it is still, okay.
Yeah, you distills it to 55%. But it's why it has additives in it is it's distilled with wild fruits. So in order to get this still called a tequila, by the CRT and the US government, who are both boards. So just really quickly with the US government, in case someone in this group doesn't know, the US government also too regulates alcohol. It's called the TTB, and so you have to submit alcohol to them if it's not part of a controlled group or denominating group like the CRT. So they'll automatically follow what the CRT says for things, although that might be changing soon because of the additive-free movement thing. But I was gonna say it's like, but because this one is a tequila has never been done like this before. Like no one knew what to do with this in the beginning. So some fun backstory on Amatitena is this was originally, and by the way, when you pour your guys self this, let it air out for a little bit. Not a little bit. I mean, you don't have to a long time, but just like kind of swirl it around for like 30 seconds so it kind of like opens up a little more. So then you can really taste the fruit flavors. But this one, it's all actually, let me just tell you what it is first, then we can get into the
Have
backstory.
you only ever done one of these?
No, there's the second edition is coming
But this is the first.
this is the first.
Okay, because I had it before, but I didn't know if it was the same. Okay, thank you.
Second edition is gonna be out in the springtime. And that, like, if you guys saw Alberto's background that he originally had, I don't know if he still has the background. There you go. Like if you look at Alberto's thing, or if Alberto says hello, maybe it pops up. I don't know. How his has the green background, that is gonna be Barrancas batch 2. Barrancas
Oh,
batch
okay.
2 has the green foil on the bottom. Barrancas batch 2 is available in Mexico now. It's that one was released in Mexico before the US this time. So you can actually buy that currently at the distillery and some select locations in Cabo, Puerto Vallarta, Guadalajara, Cancun, and Mexico City.
Is it at the cellar in Cabo?
Alberto?
Sorry,
The
Is that
cellar, is it at the cellar with Carlos?
Carlos or Cabo? What?
In Cabo, is it the cellar
Yeah,
has
yeah, it's
is a
available in Cabo. Yeah, for
batch
sure.
2?
Yes, the new
Yeah,
one.
yeah,
¿Dónde está? Is the cellar
It's
yeah.
a liquor store in the
in San Jose and Transpanicula?
probably yeah, there are a couple stores. Let me
Okay.
let me ask, but for sure we are in the San Jose area or
Yep.
San Lucas. Yeah, for sure.
I will go there next week, so.
You
But you
will.
won't have it yet. Not yet.
No, it's there, Christine. You can
It's
get batch
there.
2 at that store. Batch 2 came out.
Just
Okay.
just double check about the label. Have to be green.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like
It's not
back.
going to be orange like this. It's going to be
Okay.
green on the bottom. So we're making that easier to tell the difference between the years on these ones now. So you get to stay tuned for batch three's color. I already know what vote I'm doing. Alberto might not like it, but
Is the color correlated to the fruit that's used? Did you use
yes.
mango, something yellow, and then
Oh,
There you go.
But maybe not going forward. But for right now, yeah.
so what fruits are this? So am I envisioning this properly? This sounds exactly like the process of making what's the mezcal? The pechuga. Is this essentially a tequila pechuga?
It is a tequila pechuga, but a vegetarian tequila or a vegan pechuga tequila because there's no meat. So Alberto's family, or Alberto, do you want to tell them about what your family did hundreds of years
Yeah,
ago? Yeah.
yeah. In the past, uh, for many generations, we don't uh, cultivate just agave. Also in the family, in the area of the Barranca, which is ravine, we used to grow plums, mango, and mamey by the river. So that's the reason we call this edition Barrancas, because from many times our family, his, his business was sell fruit too. So now we bring those fruits from the same area of Amatitan to make this kind of pechuga, vegan pechuga style.
To kind of expand on what Alberto was saying about to just clarify is hundreds of years ago his ancestors planted and they were harvesting these fruit trees in the ravines of the Tequila Valley, which they call the Barrancas. So when you're down in the Tequila Valley and you look north, it actually like goes into a ravine where there's a river. I think what is the San Luis Rio or whatever. But it's they stopped doing this and all these fruit trees essentially became wild. So it's like these are all now wild fruit trees that grow in the ravines of the Barrancas. And so that's kind of what he was referring to earlier when there's only one time a year to actually harvest them because it's like they all tend to like produce these fruits in the late spring, sometimes early summer. And so that's when they can harvest the fruits to distill and make Amatitena Barrancas. So what he does is on second distillation, which what Vadim was referring to as Pachuga is same thing that the mezcal does is they put a basket inside the still and then they add the fruits directly to the still. So these fruits, mamey, mango, and plum, are being distilled with the blue upper agave on second distillation. So yeah. Anything to add, Alberto?
No,
No?
hmm.
Oh, yeah. There is one thing to add, an
what?
important part. And then it's glass rested for 1 year
Oh, that's true.
ground in a
One,
Damalana.
one year in Demigen
Yeah.
just for stabilize the tequila for a year in glass.
So this is essentially a glass rested anejo. But you can't call it an anejo when it's been glass rested. The thing that is very risky about doing glass resting is it can really highlight flaws in a distillate because it's not being masked by anything like wood, or flavors from a previous barrel, So and flaws in distillates are notes like plastic and rubber, or like alcohol, like if you've ever had a really cheap vodka and it's like it tastes like rubber, like I'm sure
Yeah.
everybody has. That's like a distillate flaw. You don't want things to taste like plastic and rubber, but or some people might, but that's for a whole nother group chat, right? But
or
Well, I have a question about the green. What fruit was used in the green versus the orange versus the next one?
same fruits.
Same.
Same fruits.
Yeah.
just one is ripe, one is green?
Oh, also too, plums in Mexico are green and yellow. Just FYI. So it's like the fruit, a mamey, the flesh of a mamey is like coppery orange, like this edition. Very, very similar to like it looks like a papaya on the inside, but it looks like a
Okay.
cantaloupe on the outside. The easiest thing to do is just Google mamey. You'll see it pop up. Um, Mamey is closely related to an apricot, but it honestly, if you have it on its own, it tastes like candied sweet potatoes or like a sugared avocado. That's kind of what it tastes like. It has that type of flavor profile to it. Um, it's all honestly like it's really yeah, sapote. The Caribbean countries tend to call it sapote. Um, but it's really hard to kind of find outside of, Southern California, Mexico, and the Caribbean and Florida. Those are really the only places and even in San Diego, you really only see it at the Mexican markets, like nowhere else.
Mm-hmm.
But it's yeah, you just kind of don't see it around that much. But it has a very distinct creamy starchiness to it, which is actually very prominent in this batch. Like that's that very creamy starchiness you might taste in the beginning when you first take a sip of it. And the plum is honestly the harder flavor to find. Plum, to me, like if you've ever had a Slivovich, which is like the Hungarian and Czech plum distillates, like Poland makes one too. Um, though they have a very kind of like floral, um, borderlining soapy, and I'm saying soapy in like a good way, flavor. Like I guess like in perfumer world, the term is linen, like a very kind of flavor like that, or like mascarpone, yeah, that works too. But a very like floral kind of flavor. And then the mango, I mean, mango is it's kind of an obvious flavor. That's the finish at the end. You get that very tropical fruit note. But like this one, like for me, the agave kind of like sings throughout the whole thing. It's really good. Like I love Barrancas. Barrancas is one of those things that it's really been like a sleeper hit for us too. Um, it kind of came out a little softly, but it's really been like on fire pretty recently. So
Really?
yeah, it's Barrancas is really good. This one goes really good with like I was saying, like cheeses and stuff. I really like Barrancas. And it was purposely kept at 110 proof, which is the highest that you could make a
Mhm.
tequila at and call it a tequila. It was really important to Alberto and myself to have it be called a tequila because it is a tequila. It is yeah. So it's fun, but like kind of what I was saying earlier about like the when I was going to get into the little government backstory is this was originally only going to be glass rested for 6 months, but because the CRT and the TTB didn't know what to do with it, it ended up by the time everything, all the approvals came in, it was already in the glass for 11 months. And at that point, it was like, might as well keep it an extra year and see what happens. So you could say it's been done for 1 year. And so now just going forward, it's going to be a 1 year thing and released every year as like an annual release. But yeah, sometimes, the government forces you to do things you don't initially want to do, and it turns out for the better in the long run. The other thing that kind of cracks me up with the US version of it is anywhere the word tequila is used in the description, it has to be followed with mango, plum, and mamey fruits. So it's like whenever if you ever get a bottle and like read the description, you'll notice that it's like always mentions that whenever the word tequila is used, which cracks me up for some reason, just because it's like, come on, like chill on that one. But yeah,
Considering how many tequila brands have additives added to them, and it just says tequila. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. But yeah, but so that's why I always joke around that this is an additive tequila, it's
for
fun.
sure.
I'm
All right.
trying with cheese.
Well, because I mean, it's like now you go to these shows these days, and you have all the people being in sleep. Like at some of these shows, it's like the people will be like they'll ask every single time, "Is this additive free?" It's like, like you honestly think like Mexico in a bottle is letting in an additive brand, like I don't know if you guys know this show,
Mhm.
Mexico in a bottle. If you guys ever have any interest in agave spirits, Mexico in a bottle is actually probably the best traditional agave spirit show in the country. Um, like if you can make the San Francisco one, that is probably the best one. Followed by the San Diego show and then the Chicago show. Those would be the three best ones. Um, the San Francisco one, though, is definitely the best one. You're most likely to meet the makers at the San Diego show. But the Chicago one is also very well attended as well. Because these are so you might be surprised, but Chicago has a lot of people from Mexico live in it, so they have a lot of daily flights to Chicago. Um,
Yeah.
but I was gonna say this is a show where you could try all different types of agave spirits, and they're all gonna be super clean. Um, but yeah, that one is always a show that it cracks me up when people ask that question, just because it's like the lady who puts it on, I think would like if a brand showed up that wasn't, she would, I think, have a heart attack. But anywho, but yeah, Mexico in a Bottle is a good one. Another show that I really like that gets put on yearly, in three different cities is Bowl of Zole. That one's done in Brooklyn, Boston, and Denver. Um, that show, uh, also has pozole, where a lot of restaurants make pozole. So you kind of get a lot of good food at that one.
Mhm.
If you were going to do one of those, the Brooklyn one is by far the best one of those ones. And I think just because the New York City restaurants take the pozole making way more seriously than Boston or Denver. And you get some really like high-end restaurants participating in that one.
When
So
is the Boston one usually?
Boston one was Saturday.
Oh, it was already happened.
Yeah, it just happened on Saturday, but I didn't go
I
in.
was there. I was actually there on Saturday with
Yeah,
nothing to do,
you
but I
should have
didn't
gone. It
know.
was fun. But like, I just didn't feel like the Boston. I will be honest, the Boston's the worst one. Like if you
Oh,
miss
okay.
one, the Boston one's the one to miss. But and then
It's just that I have family there, so
yeah. Well, you went when it was really cold.
it was cold.
I know. Ironically, like it's the weather is supposed to like warm up when we're there next week, and San Diego's going to get like an extremely rare like cold front. So I'm perfectly fine leaving town.
That's
Uh,
weird.
yeah, but another good show. Oh wait, no, you guys can't go to that one.
Can we
If
take a picture?
Oh yeah, but I was gonna say if you guys know anyone in the industry and they can get you into Bar Convent in Brooklyn, that's a really good one. Um, but those are honestly for agave, and I know I'm sure you guys know better than I the whiskey ones. Actually, there's a really good rum one in San Diego next Saturday, not this Saturday, next Saturday. There's a really good rum one. You guys are into rum, but yeah.
Awesome. I know Elijah had a couple of questions about Amatitena, but before we get to that, I want to invite everyone that's still here to raise a glass and smile and say thank you to the brand for being here, spending the evening with us. Roman, thank you for setting it up. Alberto, thank you for being here to share this liquid with us. This was absolutely fantastic. I know a lot of us have found a new tequila brand for us to follow and buy and enjoy. So thank you very much. Everyone just 2 seconds, smile to the camera. Got it. All right. I know Elijah had a couple of tequila questions. And in the meantime, I'm going to toss out our final poll for the night for your favorite of the night. So go ahead.
Just, some people feel like aging in glass doesn't make a huge difference. Like I've had a chance to try a few, like actually some mezcal and some tequila aged in glass. Like you were saying, it brings out some flaws. Do you think it adds anything? Like, do you think it helps with the blending, or do you think it helps get a little bit of air, or like was it kind of an experiment?
No, it definitely adds something. I was gonna say it definitely tends to harmonize flavors and bring out other flavors more. Like Alberto, wouldn't you say in all honesty, like when you first taste Barrancas, like because it's such a high proof, alcohol really is a forefront of the flavor, but by the time it ages, you really start really noticing more of the fruit profile more than anything. And that's kind of like across the board, I will say. Like when I've had you know, like something that like I don't know, like it's more niche spirit, but like Kirsch's, which are cherry distillates from Austria and Switzerland. Those are often like rested in glass for like 10, 15, 20 years. And if you ever try one of those before, it tastes like straight up vodka, but by the time like you actually pour out the distillate, it really tastes like, like maraschino cherries sometimes, like especially for those 20, 25-year-old ones. But it really does tend to like harmonize flavor and cause things to really come together in a way that just is going to highlight all the things that initially were being distilled. Alberto, you have anything to add?
Uh, I would say probably just with that process of stay in glass or resting in glass for a year, the main thing will be the smoothest, uh, not strong flavor from the alcohol in front, and about some more compact aromas from the fruit. I mean, probably all the flavors and aromas from the distillate from the fruit come uh, together uh, like a one thing. I can't explain. Sorry.
We're in agreement. But yeah. Any other questions? Did we answer your question, Elijah?
Yeah, totally. No, my other one was a little silly because I know like didn't Grover get kind of in Guadalajara get kind of like raided by the police or whatever? Like, are they cool now? That was such a really crazy story. I just saw like the headline popped up. Maybe it was like a year ago or two
No,
years ago.
Grover's a bandit now. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
He's rotting
chase.
he's
Yeah.
rotting in Florida now, it's no, yeah, no, that's yeah, that's all everything you read's true. He had to leave Mexico and he's fine. Grover's fine. Grover's got a really, really good agave nectar now that you can buy at Old Town Tequila. It's called Respeto. Um, uh, and it's if you ever wanted to know, it's the closest thing that tastes like agave when it's been cooked in an oven. So it's yeah, it's really good. It's actually like tahona crushed agave nectar. So I highly recommend it. Yeah, there you go. Christine has a bottle, Respeto. You know, um, just exactly like how people always mispronounce Reposado. Do you have any Respeto available? Uh, but yeah, no, Grover's good. Now we got to let him know where we give a shout out, right? Christine, you can tell him that we shouted out his Respeto. Available at Old Town Tequila too. Don't put any of his high proof and shit up. Who else did we put up here? Mission, no more mission. No, I'm kidding. You could shop at Amatitena for those stores. But Respeto, you better order through Old Town. Uh,
One of the best things that I tasted when I went to Mexico was actually oven baked agave. It tasted like quince. How come that's not available? Why isn't it sold anywhere? Or
um,
where is it and where can I find it? Because it was really good.
I mean, Alberto, didn't you guys try selling that for a while and no one bought it?
Remember?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think no one just bought
Oh
it.
yeah.
No one
Let's
wanted it. It's
let's
too
try
niche.
again.
Yeah. So that's kind of what Rispetto does. Rispetto kind of tastes like that, but in syrup form, in all honesty. But I was gonna say it's very thick. But I was gonna say, yeah, I remember Alberto and them. They tried selling some and no one bought it. It's
5 or 6 years ago too.
yeah, yeah,
On that.
so maybe we'll come back, but for
I
right
know.
now, I guess
Like,
you got to go visit them in Mexico. You're
It's so good.
you're in LA, it's easy to get down to.
I was
So
gonna say we grow agave here. I have friends that have agave in their front yard because it's drought resistant. But
Mhm.
you can't make tequila in California, but you could sell agave. That would be a
Actually,
fun thing.
can make
actually,
agave spirit.
you can make agave spirits in California.
Yeah,
That's
but why would you? We make plenty of wine.
yeah, I know. That's there's
And beer.
tapped into a very controversial subject amongst tequila makers, and it's they are I mean, there's actually a whole council now for agave distillates in California.
Yeah.
It is something that is the thing about it is it's not going to taste the same because it's kind of like what I was saying about wine the other day. Like the terroir matters, it's like the climate matters. But the thing about it is like the Newsom really pushed a lot of growers to come up with drought tolerant things that they can grow, and agave is one of the easiest things to grow that's drought tolerant. I mean, I have a tepesade in my backyard that I don't even water, and it's knocked over part of the fence now. In fact, I want to take it down, but my agave friends would probably kill me. But it's just that sort of thing that it's just I don't think I mean the California agave spirits I've had so far are very, very earthy. It's and you there's a few brands. There's a Ladrone, which a distillery up in Sacramento area makes. And then there is Hopo, which I think is also near Sacramento, or it might be like Lodi. It's up there somewhere, but
Mhm.
but yeah, it's
And Llano spirits. It's
Yano. That's what
pretty.
I'm thinking of. Yeah, not
Yeah,
Ohio,
yeah.
Yano.
They're
Yeah,
up that way too.
yeah. I was gonna say
It was good.
they're very earthy though. Like it's almost more they're more mezcal tasting than tequila tasting. But it's that sort of thing like they're never going to be called a tequila because it's denominated. I think the world learned their lesson with France giving away their denomination of champagne to Napa Valley already.
They
And
did?
that's why there's California champagne.
I
Yeah, no, remember the Nazis invaded France, and France didn't want the champagne denomination to go to the Nazis, so they granted it to California for 1,000 years.
I thought it was just like sparkling wine. I
No,
didn't know it was.
the champagne and Chandon,
Oh, Shandon. That's
there's other brands too. Jay,
ah,
I mean, Chandon is actually owned by Moet Hennessy, so I mean, it's close enough, I guess. But yeah. So I doubt Mexico's ever gonna hand away a tequila denomination to California. But yeah,
no.
that's the thing. It's like there is, but it's I know primarily what I was told that the agave they're primarily growing for is sweeteners. That's what primarily it's being.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, they are. Okay.
Yeah. So
Like an agave.
like
This
Respeto. Yeah,
I
like
want to put this. I just got this. Grover just sent this to me in the Flavier package, and I want to make a margarita with it.
nice. It's good. It's good in smoothies too.
Mm-hmm.
Good in yogurt too.
I can't wait to try it.
So good in tequila too. You can make your own Joven.
I just
I
want
don't
to
really
say
love
that.
Joven.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry,
I just
I'm
want to
done.
say that this is my first time trying the brand. I am extremely impressed. Everything I tried was great. A couple definite standouts, but even among the non-standouts, it was all really, really good. So thank you very much for this. Thanks, Vadim, for pushing me to get the tasting kit and joining tonight. It's really good stuff.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
That said, Alberto, what do you think was the favorite of the night? We all voted. What do you think
For
was the favorite
me,
of the group?
always probably will be the Añejo, but uh, sometimes for cocktails I will say Origen or Blanco.
Okay. Well, we're all sipping it neat tonight.
Uh,
So
Añejo.
extra añejo. Okay.
See, I think
Uh,
you guys like the Anejo the best. The regular Anejo.
it was well liked for sure, but the results are in. Barrancas took first place.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
took 42% of the votes, and extra añejo was following up second. So you're close.
Okay.
I'm impressed. I think it's the cast strength lovers in the room.
I
I
mean,
actually voted for the extra añejo, and I'm a cask strength lover, so I don't know. I think people just liked it, I guess.
Well, you were torn between your love of oak and then your love of a cast strength. So
I
I was
just thought the Añejo had like a lot of interesting, I don't know, complexity to it. Like I don't think I'm a red wine kind of finish guy anyway, with whiskey at least, but man, it was just really interesting, and I really love the color and I really love the smell. Like, it was great.
yeah. I mean,
what's
there
so interesting is the two expressions that I like the most, the Blanco and the Reposado, got no votes, and I thought they were so good on their own. The Blanco was just so creamy, and the Reposado was just so viscous. They're both really fantastic.
I
I preferred those as well. The Barrancas to me is my least favorite. And I know like all my friends go, what are you talking about? But I'm not a mezcal fan. And that to me is like more like a mezcal. So I think that makes sense. I mean, if you like the mezcals, then great. But I'm a more of a Blanco person. But I like the Origin and the Añejo.
see the Origin is like for me the most mezcal tasting.
Really? I didn't think it
That's,
was.
that's how I felt as well, which is interesting.
It's so weird because it was less smoky than the Blanco.
So, like for instance, that Mexico in a bottle Origin is always the most popular expression.
Well, I thought it was odd because I thought it was the other way around when I originally tried them, but tonight the Origin was not, and I was gonna comment on it, but you guys were talking about something else. But it was the Blanco was more smoky.
I mean, because you guys have Las Trapitas Origin. Las Trapitas Origin was not as smoky as La Coronilla.
Yeah, it
I'll
wasn't
be
as
honest,
smoky as Blanco.
for me, none of them I would really classify as smoky, but I drink a lot of mezcal. So
Yeah.
I was gonna say for me, it's like one of those things that is I the smoke to me is always more of on the aroma than the actual palate.
Mhm.
But I was gonna say like in general, I think Origin tends to be the most mezcal like
Really?
Tanya.
I
Um,
didn't get that tonight.
Broncos, I think what my gear you towards that is mezcal is way more experimental than tequila. Mezcal doesn't have to isn't as confined to certain rules like tequila is. So you get a lot more of unique distillations in mezcal world than you do tequila world.
Hmm.
So tasting something that is so agave and fruit forward in a tequila might resonate with your brain more as being a mezcal. Uh,
Hmm.
especially because when you get into high-end mezcals, a lot of times the smoke level is closer to what you're getting in a Amatitena than what
Yeah.
you get in more of a basic mezcal. Um,
There's a lot of good, not that smoky mezcals out there that I quite like. I like the smoky ones too, but
exactly. So that's the thing. Like it's like especially those like really high-end um, ancestral distilled mezcals, like in the clay pots, like that, and especially when you're using agaves like Oaxaca and Tepezate and Sierra Negra, like you are going to get some very fruity, vegetable forward mezcals. That have a lot of earthiness to it and not necessarily be what a lot of people associate with mezcal as being smoke forward. Um, so it's just it's not a lot of people get to try $150 plus mezcals on average, so mezcal you kind of pay a lot for that profile, so it is what it is. But it was fun having you guys taste it all. So I know I think it's close to everyone's bedtime and dinner time if you're West Coast, I guess. So I know
yeah,
Alberto's an early night guy, so it's 11:10 for him,
Is
So
it really that late?
he's they're 2 hours ahead from West Coast.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That's true.
yeah.
really appreciate both Alberto and Roman for being
No,
on here, and you guys answered a lot of great questions and really knowledgeable about the product. Thank you.
thanks guys.
Yeah,
Thank
thank you
you.
so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks
For
for coming
sure.
out.
Roman, tell your mom and dad I said hi, please.
I will. And like I said, tell your local liquor store and bar and restaurant if they don't have it, ask for a Amatitena.
Okay.
I'm assuming most of you guys are here in California. If you're here in California, just tell them order it through Skurnik. They'll know what Skurnik is. So
For sure.
yeah,
Awesome. Thank you.
for sure.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys.
It's been fun.
Yeah, have a good one. And we'll do Christine.